Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today we've got record-breaking GPUs, Borderlands 3 is made for AMD, and Intel's new 56-core CPU. But first, if you like the channel, please subscribe. We're getting so close to 100,000, it's unreal. And don't forget that I'll be doing a really sweet giveaway when that happens, so click that button and bell icon. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, a ton of GPU records were recently broken. Galax, the board partner on an overclocking mission, invited a few well-known overclockers to play around with 4 of their Galax RTX 2080 Ti Hall of Fame Overclock Lab Edition GPUs. That is really hard to say. The GPUs were cooled with liquid nitrogen, which is basically what these are for. During their benchmarking spree, the overclockers broke 16 world records, including a core frequency of 2.94 GHz made by overclocker OGS, which is the highest recorded frequency for a 2080 Ti, plus it gets really close to the all-time winning 3 GHz 1060 overclock. Some of the other records broken were pretty major, from the #1 single GPU benchmark in Firestrike, Port Royal, Firestrike Extreme, and quite a few more. Now, while Galax does sell their Hall of Fame RTX 2080 Ti, it's a staggering $1,799, and you can't run it at these clocks for long periods of time, liquid nitrogen or not, so it's definitely not something I'd suggest. Still, these are some seriously impressive scores and will be tough to beat moving forward. Next up for today, we have some new information on Borderlands 3, and it's pretty interesting. First is the sad part that Borderlands 3 will be releasing exclusively on the Epic Games Store, meaning Epic managed to buy yet another major title away from Steam. It's currently available for pre-order and set to release on September 13th, and while the game will likely make its way to other stores eventually, it won't happen until April 2020.
Oh, come on!
Yeah. Another more hardware-related piece of news comes from 2K's press release, where it states that Borderlands 3 is built from the ground up for AMD and is, quote, optimized for top performance and incredible gaming experience on AMD Radeon graphics cards and Ryzen CPUs. That's of course good news or bad depending on your hardware preference and opinion on the matter. It's good for AMD owners, but of course sucks that there's so much focus on one company's performance anyway. Still, it'll be nice to see what a heavily optimized 4 Ryzen game will be like. Next up, Intel recently released a plethora of new Xeon CPUs, one of which being the fairly surprising 56-core 112-thread Xeon Platinum 9282 CPU. The chip is part of Intel's new Cascade Lake family of CPUs, so it's equipped with hardware mitigation for Spectre and Meltdown. As far as specs, it comes with a base clock of 2.6 GHz, a boost of 3.8, and a TDP of 400 watts. The CPU is obviously made to combat AMD's recently announced 64-core 7nm based EPYC chip. Now, we don't know too much about that processor, but there were some recent benchmarks with it showing around a boost of 2.2 GHz. Of course, there's a ton of factors here, and these are likely some early benchmarks, so we can't say anything for sure. What's interesting is that Intel's 9282 is made from 2 28-core dies packaged together as a multi-chip module similar to what we've seen AMD use in their Zen-based chips. As far as price, Intel is only selling these directly to server OEMs, so they likely won't release that to the public, but you can bet it'll cost more than my first car. Okay, it's probably more than my current car. It definitely is. So while that does it for today, what did you think of the news? Excited for Borderlands 3, or are you more bummed you'll have to use Epic's game store? Let me know down in the comments below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe for all things gaming and hardware. And as always, have a great day.